Hi guys, welcome to a review of Happiest season. Oh yes, I have watched it. Just as a heads up, there will be spoilers in this review, so if you haven't watched the film and you don't want anything ruined, please do click away or don't click away. It's a free world mostly. I just want to say firstly that this review is composed of two parts. Firstly, I'm going to give my own personal opinion of the film, and secondly, I'm going to look at the film through a more critical lens. So if you didn't know, Happiest Season is a lesbian Christmas rom-com directed by Clea Duvall, who is firstly a gay legend, and secondly very crush-worthy. And the film stars Kristen Stewart, Mackenzie Davis and Aubrey Plaza, to name a few. The film is essentially about a woman who is planning to propose to her girlfriend at her girlfriend's family holiday party. But whilst they're on their way to this annual holiday event, she discovers that her girlfriend has not come out to her conservative parents yet, which throws a bit of a spanner in the works. Okay, so personally, I loved this film a lot. I was just happy all the way through it. Yes, there may have been some mulled wine involved, but still, I've watched a lot of lesbian film in my time and I've never seen anything like this before. It's special. It's our very own Christmas rom-com. I mean, just how many Christmas rom-coms revolve around heterosexual couples? There's so many. I can't even name another Christmas lesbian rom-com. And on top of this, it also has a lesbian director. Even better. I don't think it's an overstatement to say that this film is sort of a landmark in lesbian cinema. It really is a product of a changing landscape. And in my opinion, it's absolutely worth watching just because of its existence in the first place. So whilst we're on the subject of what I thought of the film personally, I also have to say I feel like Abby really should have ended up with Riley and not Harper. I thought Abby and Riley had much better chemistry. I thought their relationship seemed a lot healthier to me. And there's been a bit of discourse about this online, but Harper's behavior, it was super toxic. Anybody who's been on the receiving end of that kind of behavior will tell you just how damaging that is. I felt like Harper pretty much threw Abby to the side as soon as they arrived home, and I didn't like the fact that Harper had this history of painting Riley as this predatory lesbian, but I think this is just a bit of a talking point. It definitely didn't kind of ruin the film for me. Technically there wasn't really a love triangle going on, but I do feel like it was edging into that realm. And I just think if you love somebody, you don't act in ways that hurts them again and again. And I think it would be different if she'd had that history of kind of internalized homophobia, but she'd kind of sorted it out and moved on, which I guess she kind of did in the end of the film. But to me, I was just a bit like, oh no, you're an awful person. I also thought the film was very emotional in places. The bit that nearly put me in tears is where Harper's dad gets a phone call at the end and essentially has to make a choice pertaining to hiding his daughter's sexuality, and he chooses not to do that. That got me very emotional. I also saw there was a bit of discourse online about the fact that people didn't really want another film about coming out. I don't think this film was your typical coming out, woman has to come to terms with her own sexuality. I think Harper had come to terms with her own sexuality. I mean, she was in a serious relationship with another woman. So in a way, I feel like this film was a different kind of coming out story. And I also think it's quite easy to kind of, as a consumer, kind of sit and criticize lesbian media, but I think if we want more kind of diverse film and more diverse lesbian representation, you really have to look into supporting independent lesbian creators who are making that kind of content instead of just kind of criticizing what people come up with. You know, and I think if we support projects like this, then maybe Clea Duvall can go on to make another film which doesn't involve anybody having to come out to their family or so on and so forth. So this brings me on to what I thought of the film through a more critical lens. I didn't think Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie Davis were the best match for each other other in the whole entire world. I don't know if it was just a bit of a vibe clash or what it was, but to me something just felt a bit off. If you compare the way that kind of Harper and Abby interact to the way that Riley and Abby interact, I personally think you can see a huge difference in chemistry. However, I think both actors genuinely did a fantastic job. Never did I think I was watching anything awkward at any stage. I don't want people to misinterpret what I'm saying. I think they absolutely did a good job and they really put 100% into the roles. It wasn't a bad casting choice. I just don't think it was the best casting choice, but that could just be my own personal hang-up. Also, as far as the film goes from a comedic standpoint, I didn't really have any laugh out loud moments. I was just quite happy to be watching it. So there were a few moments which were slightly humorous, but I don't think the script, which I think was intended to be, you know, a comedy, I didn't find it particularly humorous. But that could be a personal hang-up, and perhaps the film just didn't necessarily align with my own humour, but to me it seemed that the comedy aspect was a little bit on the weak side. But really, those are my only criticisms, and overall I can absolutely recommend you see the film. I think it's good. I thought the acting was good, I thought the pacing was good, I thought the storyline was good, it had a fantastic cast, and as far as lesbian film goes, it really stands out on its own. I've also seen some criticism online where some people have said that people only like this film because we don't really have, you know, many other options in terms of what this film represents, which to an extent is true, but also if a film's not good to begin with, no amount of lesbianism in the film is going to make it good. A lot of the films that have a buzz about them have a buzz for a reason. I've watched some terrible lesbian films and I'm probably never going to review them on this channel. So I don't necessarily think it's true that we accept crumbs no matter what is on the screen. I don't think that's entirely true. Of course, Hollywood isn't bursting with lesbian romantic comedies, hopefully soon. So yeah, I do understand, but yeah. And I think critique of it is valid. I think enjoying it is valid. And either way, I'm really glad it exists. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you've seen the film, let me know what you think of it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for instant disappointment, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.